Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, hey, what the fuck? And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, boulder dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery.
Hello, everybody. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. Apparently, I had that tab open on the other window. I was wondering why I was kind of hearing it twice. Hello, our favorite gorilla. Hello, Frosty Broccoli and Miss Broccoli. It is so great to see y'all. All excited. Always feel warm and fuzzy when people show up to hear me bitch and complain about stuff. Makes me feel, I don't know, a little bit special for a bit. Anywho, I will try to get through as quick as I can, just because, like, I do feel kind of silly when I have like 10 articles and it takes me like an hour and a half. Although on the bright side, not all of the tabs are something I'm going to delve into. Like, a couple of these are like a reference for one of the other articles. So, all right. Amid toppling of Assad, Kurds in Syria appeal for Israel's help. Yikes! I guess when you're drowning, any hand will do. But gosh darn, if that's not what you're gonna pay for later, because the Kurds wouldn't probably need as much help if it weren't for the Israelis. But let's take a peek at this. Representatives of the Syrian Kurds have recently appealed to Israel's officials via various communication channels, seeking assistance and protection. Because now that Assad is not in power and Al-Qaeda basically is, the Kurds are in danger. So let's not forget why the Kurds are in danger. This comes as the regime of the former Syrian president, Assad, was crumbling and the country was taken over by Islamic rebels. Isn't it weird when it's terrorists when they bother us, but they're rebels when we're paying them to terrorize someone else? Earlier today, Turkish-backed Syrian rebels announced that they've begun attacking Kurdish forces. Holy shit! Who would have thought that would happen? Hello, Night Breeze. Meow meow. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Oh, I send you lots of hugs. I'm so glad you're here. You were kind of bushy-tailed. But remember, if America and Israel had not paid Al-Qaeda to go and take down Assad, the Kurds would not be in danger now. And the Kurds have been our allies for a long time. They helped us fight against ISIS back in like 2012 and shit. Yeah, that's kind of fucked. It truly is. If they want to do this in a legitimate way, they would have hired the Kurds to do something with Assad. They at least would have picked someone who didn't, wasn't previously cutting heads off. So, yeah. I feel like most of our fighting for the last 30 years has been like this. We just didn't have up to the minute updates of what was happening like we do now. Finer than a frog's hair. Fantastic. Glad to hear it. All right. Israel, which views the Kurds community as friendly and Western-oriented entity, has been working with Western countries since the beginning of the current campaign to ensure the security of the Kurds within the emerging new reality of Syria. Well, be sure? Hold up. So, since the beginning of the campaign to ensure the safety of the Kurds. That's what it says. So why are the Kurds having to try to reach them through different channels to try to ask for help if they have been ensuring their safety since the beginning? Those poor Kurds. I feel so bad for them. Like, I wouldn't be surprised one day they turn against us for all the stuff we've allowed to happen to them. The current situation, including the victory of the Sunni jihadists and the intensification of the civil war, creates security and political uncertainty. Well, maybe you shouldn't have done that. And I'm going to say this every time I talk about Syria. I'm not saying that Assad was a good guy. I'm not going to say that. But there is an ecosystem in politics just like there is in the wild. If you take out a wolf, you might have meaner wolves take its place, or you might end up with an insane like overgrowth of other issues going on that the wolf would have taken care of. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need a manageable monster to take care of other monsters. This is the opposite of how that should have gone. Let's see. Exactly. Al-Qaeda is U.S. and Israel. Yep. So basically now it's a CIA and Mossad in charge of Syria. Well, hello, Mo. How are you? Well, their claim. I'm going to introduce you to Syria's new leader in a minute. I'm not sure how long he's going to last, but I'll show you in a second. At least they're saying that he's the new leader, so it's kind of fucking weird. Rebels, led by the Islamic group Al-Sham, because I can't pronounce the whole thing, because what the fuck, I just can't. I'm sorry. It seems weird. I take a fascination to politics in that part of the world, but I have a terrible time fucking pronouncing it. But the group Al-Sham drive along the street in Al-Rashidin, Aleppo province. So we got that ridiculousness going on. Foreign Minister Gideon Saar has recently engaged in a series of discussions with his European and American counterparts, raising the Kurdish issue and emphasizing the necessity to support them. Again, so they're trying to bring up the issue to help the Kurds when we just saw that they claimed that since the beginning of the current campaign, they have been trying to assure their security. No, they haven't. They lie. They wanted the land. They wanted to take the land and hire terrorists to do it, and they didn't care who got hurt in the process. That's really what that is. Exactly. A 4-minute video of Hillary saying that they created Al-Qaeda. Exactly. Yes, I have seen that. I have that saved on one of my playlists on my YouTube. That's probably the only thing honest she's ever said in her whole life. Syria's new rulers are former Al-Qaeda terrorists, and why DC is celebrating them. Because a lot of Washington, D.C. is also terrorists, but instead of weapons, they have suits. And from what I understand, the guy in charge of this group had a $10 million bounty on his head from cutting people's heads off and doing all kinds of mayhem. But whatever. A former Al-Qaeda commander has seized power in Damascus, bringing great jubilation and relief to Washington, D.C. That should tell you everything you need to know. That says a former one. He's only technically a former Al-Qaeda because now he belongs to a splinter group, an offshoot of Al-Qaeda. You know? But yeah. And it should make you wonder why someone in Al-Qaeda brings happiness to Washington, D.C. That should tell you everything you need to know about Washington, D.C. Regime changers who pined for this day. Assad has fled ingloriously to Russia in the dead of night without so much as making a statement to bid farewell. While they're just really trying, they couldn't kill him, so they're trying to make him sound terribly. Like, what? First off, I don't even know if he fled in the night. He might have, but you fly off whenever you can, and without so much as making a bid farewell. There were Al-Qaeda people running all over the town, creating mayhem, trying to kill him. Is he supposed to really step out on a podium and give a farewell speech? This is so stupid. Who wrote this? I'm going to tell him he's a fucking idiot later. How about that? I'll just tell him he's a fucking idiot later. It's certainly interesting how quickly the profane ideological origins of the militant group can be ritualistically forgotten, so long as the erstwhile extremists appear to align with the U.S. geopolitical interest. Well, I mean, that's true. Which liberals in particular have styled themselves such passionate proponents in recent years, and among other reasons to counter the perception of isolationism of Donald Trump and his MAGA cohort. I can't tell whose side this guy's on. Of which liberals have particularly stopped. I think this guy hates everybody, and that I actually can respect because he's calling out liberals on one side and then talking about isolationism of Trump. You know what? Isolationism might have prevented us from being involved or arming this conflict in the first place. So, in 2018, an entry in the Federal Register declared al-Sham the new rulers of Syria as of this weekend to be a specialized designated global terrorist organization, given its lineage with al-Qaeda. Our amusing parlor games in DC will now be to predict how long it takes for this designation to be officially stricken from the record and flushed down the memory hole. Yeah, that's so fucking wild. And it's wild. So I don't remember correctly, probably, but I feel like around 2010, 2012, 2014, somewhere in that vicinity, wasn't there a time when ISIS and them said they wanted their own state? Like, I can't remember. Let me look it up because I feel like that was a thing. Let me go and check that out real quick. Did ISIS, wrong button, ISIS want its own state? I feel like that was a thing, and I can't remember because it would have been a long, long time ago, and my memory ain't as good as it used to be. So hold on. Likely be its own undoing. No country is its ally. All right, so this is 2015. So let's take a gander at this real quick. As long as they know collective psychopaths, well, that's not. It is a religious group that carefully consider beliefs. Blah 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 blah. Let's see. Which I thought to look this up earlier. What does ISIS really want? That's same fucking article. What the shit? Okay, fine. I will just. Oh, I'm not gonna pay to see the rest of the stuff. I hate when they do that. Ooh. Oh, whoa. May the 10th, 2023, the significance of ISIS state building in Syria. What? Huh. Huh. I can read faster when I'm not reading out loud, but hopefully it's big enough y'all can see it too. Oh, for fuck's sake. Did I really? I really did. I'm so sorry. I'm an idiot. What the hell? I am just not myself today, apparently. Holy shit. All right. So we're at this mess right here. I'm sorry I didn't share a screen. I wish somebody had said that in comments. I forgot to do that. But yes, Syria's new rulers are former al-Qaeda. I mean, like I said, the only reason why they're former is because now they consider themselves more of an offshoot of al-Qaeda, and not that they're any better. Anyway, they're making stupid comments that Assad fled to Russia without bidding farewell. Just a stupid fucking thing to say. But basically, this al-Sham bunch is the new rulers of Syria. Just super fucking wild. And so I was trying to find out if they had ever wanted a state. And it looks like they did. This article from May the 10th of 2023. So even before the Gaza war kicked off, before the shit with Lebanon, there was a talk apparently about ISIS getting a state, and I guess they decided to give it to Syria. That's pretty fucking nuts. And Israel helped make it happen, and the US. Which is super wild because that's how Israel came to be. They decided to wipe out a bunch of people and declare it theirs with help. So, fuck. Yeah, the significance of ISIS building in Syria. Yeah, we can't say that this is just, oh, yeah, this was Israel trying to protect themselves. Nah. This was a long time plan. Long time plan. That's fucking nuts. So, yeah. Yeah, this wasn't an accident. This wasn't like, oh, we're mad at Syria for having, done this or that. Oh, he was attacking his own people. Oh, fucking shit. This was planned for a long time. We'll put this right over here. And, the next article. Israel Prime Minister helped to topple Assad, but it wasn't planned, analysts say. So, yeah, it was. Obviously, it fucking was. We just saw a thing that kind of implies that it was. So, yeah. Okay. Anyway, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday claimed that the fall of Assad in Syria as a direct outcome of Israel's action in the region. Some analysts in Israel say that it was only partially true. Speaking while under growing domestic pressure over the fate of the Israeli hostages in Gaza and the corruption trial, Netanyahu said that Assad's demise was a direct result of the blows we have inflicted on Iran and Hezbollah, Assad's main supporters, which is wild. He's basically bragging that he helped create a situation where ISIS and Al-Qaeda have a state now. Isn't that weird? Like, I wonder if anybody who sees this live stream is gonna, like, later on is gonna be like, oh, Israel's the most moral army in the world. Really? Like, I'm wondering at what point does one, like, draw the line and be like, you know what? Maybe not. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of wild. I'm not sure I can pronounce that. So I'm just going to say Danny. Danny, a research fellow at the Institute for National Security Studies in Tel Aviv, told AFP that while it was true Israel helped participants precipitate events in Syria, Assad's fall was an unintended consequence. Really, though? It's obvious that what Israel did had definitely led to that, but I doubt that they had the strategy to do so. Oh, I feel that is somewhat incorrect. But okay. Just going to keep going back to that page of audacity. But he never knew that Jolani intended to start an attack. Referring to Abu Muhammad al-Jani, the Islamic chief of the rebel group that led the offensive in Syria. Then what did he think was going to happen? Of course, nobody calculated how the fact that Iran and Hezbollah were so weakened and damaged Assad's ability to protect himself. I think they did. I think they absolutely did, because this whole time they'd be going on about, we need to get Assad because he has been helping Iran, has helped sending weapons that way, Lebanon and Hezbollah, this and that. So they knew. Whoever this analyst is either doesn't realize that, or he's putting something in place that way if it goes bad, they can say that, it was unintended consequence and they didn't mean it to happen. But they did. Analysts also pointed to Russia, a key military backer, being distracted by Ukraine as a factor leading to Assad's demise, something that was beyond Netanyahu's control. That was going on for a while. He simply used that distraction to do it. He didn't create necessarily that distraction. Although, maybe. Aviv Oreg, an analyst at the Mir Amit Center and a former military intelligence officer, said that Netanyahu's claims had some legitimacy. It's like dominoes. You topple the first one, the second one topples, and so on. He pointed to the strikes against Hezbollah both in Syria and in Lebanon, which Israel escalated dramatically in September as being a key factor. Well, yeah. I want this to go down in history. So when this goes really, really bad and the Kurds start being killed by the Al-Qaeda bunch again, and how Christians will start being killed again, if they even publish that, I want everybody to remember how Israel helped. Hezbollah had many, many troops in Syria, and now they have left or moved away. But he also drew attention to the Syrian rebels' ability to conduct such an aggressive offensive. Analysts have also highlighted that throughout the civil war, Israel did not support the government change in Syria. I feel like there's some articles around that kind of claim otherwise, but okay. Speaking before Assad's fall, Dieter Billion at the IRIS think tank in Paris said that Israel had long appeared to prefer the maintenance of Assad over the possible arrival of the power of Islamic or jihadist groups. And yet they did zero to fucking stop any of that from happening. And what actually happened to some degree is, from what I'm hearing, is that some of those jihadi groups, because it wasn't just that one, I think it was like some other groups that came and helped, they started attacking, America supposedly started attacking ISIS in that area. Isn't that kind of wild? Like, Anyway, next article. Court rejects claim it must coordinate Netanyahu's testimony with Knesset speaker. I think it's wild that, like, he thinks he's coordinating this. He's trying to. He was putting some stuff into place before the October War back in like June or July, I think, of 2023, trying to disable their Israeli Supreme Court so he would have less, be less likely to get in trouble for the shit he was going to be doing. The Jerusalem District Court on Sunday rejected the claim of Knesset Speaker Amir Ohana that it must coordinate with him when setting dates for the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's testimony in court for his criminal trial. In its ruling, the court said that the law Ohana is referred to in his filing related to an MK giving testimony as a witness, not as a defendant. Since Netanyahu is a defendant on trial in question, the court is not required to consult the Knesset speaker, the judge rules. Well, good. He should be treated like anybody else in court and not given any kind of special treatment. Fuck that guy. But that was the Western Powers Ukrainian Azov Battalion that had been allotted. Indeed, Frosty Broccoli, indeed. Next article. Oh boy. So we already knew John Kerry was kind of a joke, but like even Netanyahu's over there, like using our politicians to make jokes and tell funny stories, try to seem charming, I guess. Netanyahu regales court with story of John Kerry's invitation to visit Afghanistan. The testimony given by Prime Minister Netanyahu in court on Tuesday in his criminal trial inevitably dealt with some of the more convoluted details of his dealings with business tycoons and media moguls, which are the focus of the criminal allegations at the premier or against the premier. But Netanyahu also took pains to illustrate what he sought to project in his tireless service to the state of Israel. In particular, his self-professed ability to stand up to external pressure, particularly from the U.S. and the media zeitgeist in Israel. First off, he's not getting much of any pressure from the United States. He's been getting billions and billions and billions of dollars and shit tons of weapons. So I think it's so wild that he's like, I've been standing up to pressure from the U.S. Motherfucker, the U.S. hasn't been pressuring you about anything. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. Anything to sound like a martyr, I swear. One especially colorful anecdote with which the Prime Minister regaled the court involved the U.S. President, his Secretary of State, and a secret invitation to visit far-off Afghanistan. After serving up a softball question, defense attorney Amit Haddad, I guess, asked the premier to detail the manifold matters of the state that he has dealt with during his time in office. In response, Netanyahu noted that the advent of the Obama administration in the U.S. posed a particular challenge to his policies. You know, that's a tough one right there. Because on one hand, good for Obama putting his foot down, but also he's still the same idiot president who pretty much oversaw 4 separate accidental weapons drops into ISIS territory. Let's not forget that. Oh, and that Obama also drone striked and killed Anwar al-Awlaki, who is an American citizen, and killed his 16-year-old son as well. So I'll go right back to fuck Obama on that one. Anywho, he detailed how Obama had sought to embrace the Muslim world, citing that he described as his speech of appeasement in Cairo in 2009, and that the U.S. leader saw Iran not as a threat, but as a country where there was an opening for relations. That part I actually agree with. The prime minister went on in detail what he described as Obama's less than warm approach to Israel, mentioning specifically the president's demand of not one brick in settlement construction as he tried to formulate a way forward in the Israel-Palestine peace process. I agree with that too. Just fucking weird. There was a demand for a total freeze in settlement construction. There was massive pressure, recounted Netanyahu in court. There were also internal pressures inside Israel to encourage the form from a press and other sources, he continued, adding that he was forced to agree with a 10-month settlement freeze that Obama's Secretary of State John Kerry came to the region with all kinds of plans. Amongst those was a program for the U.S. to train Palestinian security forces to combat terrorist organizations in order to ally Israel's security concerns over the withdrawal of its forces from the West Bank. Didn't remember that. Interesting. We were told that we can leave the territories, the West Bank, because the Americans are training the Palestinians, Netanyahu told court. Well, I can see how that might get him a little worked up since he kind of uses the Palestinians as slave labor. I mean, they allow certain Palestinians to work in Israel, but they work for a lot less pay. So it's damn borderline indentured servitude. Let me light my cigarette real quick. Let's see. Puppet Zelensky, Ukraine, there by accident. Right. Well, I don't know, but Zelensky's definitely a little puppet for sure. John Kerry also offered to go on a secret visit to Afghanistan to see how the Americans are doing the same thing for local Afghan forces. But Netanyahu said he told Kerry that the whole scheme was a bad idea. Ironically, after he's done the stuff he's done. I said, John, I want to tell you something. The moment you leave Afghanistan, the forces you are training will collapse under the pressure of the Islamists. I mean, yeah, we cannot afford that here, he said. He told the U.S. Secretary of State. Netanyahu said that his attitude toward Kerry generated awful coverage in the press, and that the Obama administration's attitude to Israel had been one of great challenges he had to deal with while serving as premier. Oh, poor little thing. Anyway, next article. And like I said, I'm trying to mix it up a little more now, so not 100% focused on like Israel and Syria. Like I'm trying not to have everything about that. So some slightly more local shit. An FBI agent refused to go along with Biden's administration anti-extremist agenda, and it cost him his career. This is what happens when you put, when you draw your line in the sand. I'm actually kind of proud of this guy. When Zach Schoftal, a former supervisory senior resident agent in the FBI's Salt Lake City division, heard his bosses wanted to focus more on domestic terrorism and hate crimes, he worked with them. He brought the U.S. attorney in Idaho 2 hate crime cases. The U.S. Attorney's Office declined to prosecute both. Instead, I have a hard time saying his name. What's his first name? Zach. Okay, we're gonna call him Zach because this last name isn't working for me. Zach told the Daily Caller, the attorney for the District of Idaho, John Hurwitz, that he was more interested in appeasing the Biden administration by hosting seminars and talk about hate crimes. Later on, the FBI pushed Zach to execute a search warrant against a domestic extremist group protesting the LGBTQ activists. He refused. It eventually cost him his career. I had been told I brought embarrassment to the Bureau because of all the pressure the Department of Justice placed on the Bureau to get the warrant, Zach told the caller. In June of 2022, 31 Patriot Front members were arrested and charged with conspiracy to riot after they were found carrying poles and shields in a U-Haul at the Coeur d'Alene Park, Pride in the Park event. Zach told the group is known for protesting BLM, LGBTQ, anti-immigration, and ICE custom enforcement events. That's super wild. The Pride in the Park generated outrage after it was revealed that the Idaho Satanic Temple chapter as sexualized drag queens would be present at family-friendly events. Christian pastors who, however, were removed for allegedly trespassing. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office said that the month that it was investigating whether a performer's genitalia was potentially exposed, according to Idaho Dispatch. So that is probably why our agents are so fucking terrible, is when they actually do put their foot down about something, they get their career ruined, and every one of them has worked years to get there. So that's why the 3-letter agencies will never actually be on our side. You might just get one random rogue one occasionally that's willing to do it, but for the most part, just assume they're not on your side. Healthcare uproar sparks new legislation in Congress, which tells me that if they could have made a difference, if they wanted to make a difference, they could have before that shooting happened. But a now reversed Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield's policy that would have created a time limit for coverage on anesthesia has led the Democrat bill to prevent such a cap in the future. Why it matters. The bill, introduced by Representative Richie Torres, draws a renewed focus on and energy around health policy spurred by the killing of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The shooting last Wednesday reignited a long simmering debate on social media over the healthcare costs, with some left celebrating Thompson's death. The Anthem Blue Cross policy, which insurers claimed was meant to crack down on overbilling by doctors, added significant fuel to the fire, which also, after that shooting, they announced that they had changed their mind and they would not be putting a limit on the amount of anesthesia that you could have for surgery. So you can't say that no good came from it. Torres, a potential New York gubernatorial candidate, is introducing a 4-page bill called the Anesthesia for All Act. Well, that sounds like a good idea to prevent that. And I really feel that all these representatives could have done more to prevent insurance companies from doing the stupid things they do that would have prevented this death. But I imagine a lot of these insurance companies might be paying, doing lobbyist work there. It's quite possible. Let's see. Al Munson asks, how many underground prisons do you think Russia has? I have not a clue. I'm sure we have a few, so I'm sure they do too. Certainly would be interesting to know that. Next article. Now, this one I thought was wild. Evangelical leader says churches must close the doors on Candace Owens over Israel march. Before we dive in, the the theory around church was that even people who were like the biggest sinners needed church the most and should be welcomed. So I think that's very interesting that evangelical leaders are saying they should close their church to somebody. I think that's super interesting. But it also leads me to think that maybe it has something to do with some CIA type shit. Now, you might wonder why. Well, because the CIA likes being able to control the narrative when it comes to dealing with Israel and our opinions of Israel. The FBI as well. So I had wondered, could the CIA be affecting how the church behaves? Turns out, yes. Yes. They apparently do have a thing for that. The CIA has been involved in using journalists and clergy in its intelligence operations. The American clergymen, missionaries, and evangelist Billy Graham have also collaborated with the CIA. So they have this thing from 1996. Yeah, this is on the CIA's website, by the way. Oh, well, this is intelligence.senate.gov, but, tomato, right? Anyway, let me copy that real quick. Let me shimmy over here. I have no doubt. Yes, especially when they saw how many people supported young Luigi. So, there we go. Y'all can just glance over that as you see fit. So, get back to over here. All right. So, let's dive into this. That poor girl. An evangelical leader has urged churches to cut ties with Candace Owens following her statements on Israel and how they resulted in Austria and New Zealand denying entry to the political pundit. Huh. Well, Australia sucks anyway, so. Anyway, Lori Cardoza Moore, president of the nonprofit Proclaiming Justice to the Nations, who served as a political envoy to the United Nations for the World Council of Independent Churches, condemned a series of remarks from the 35-year-old Owens about Israel and its Jewish people that many deemed anti-Semitic. So, this bitch. Okay. Owens' comments led her to her public departure earlier this year from the Daily Wire, a conservative news outlet founded by Orthodox Jew Ben Shapiro. Which is funny. I actually more or less got into a fight with somebody the other day because I referred to Ben Shapiro as a Zionist twit. And this guy, he's lucky I'm not naming names. I do have the receipts, but he got upset and he was saying that Zionism something to do with Khazarians, and he was like, "Does Ben Shapiro look Russian to you?" And I was like, can't necessarily rule it out, but that I was like, Zionism is a political ideology, and he fucking argued, he was telling me that I was full of shit, I didn't know anything, that Zionism, blah blah blah, is not a political ideology. I should go Google it. Well, I did. I did Google it, and it was a fantastic screenshot that explained that yes, Zionism is a political ideology, and explained its mission statement of what it wants to do in Palestine. So I sent that to him, and then I blocked him because I'm not going to let some idiot yell at me about something he clearly knows nothing about. So anyway, Candace Owens has verged into the abyss of the blind Jew hatred. Wow. Rooted in the sewers of the historical Christian anti-Semitism. Ooh, who wrote this? Who is that? Oh, yeah, okay. Damn. Cranky bitch there. But apparently she's veered into the abyss of blind Jew hatred, rooted in the sewers of historical Christian anti-Semitism, which led to the death of millions of Jews in the name of Christianity. Okay. Cardoza Moore said in a statement published by the Jerusalem Post last month, her ideas are a lethal cocktail of conspiracy theory and heresy, rejected by almost every denomination in Christendom. Well, I'm sure there are reasons for that sort of thing. Anyway, her idea, heresy. I think that's so wild she's calling it heresy. Are they going to burn her at the stake next, huh? It's been a while since I've heard anyone be, accused of heresy. That's so 1500s. Wow. Damn. It's time that churches close the door on Candace. The Candace Owens we once knew is no longer there. Cardoza Moore continued. She has no substance beyond her repugnant, unfounded, and obsessive hate for God's chosen people that love to kill Chicago people. There is no place for her anywhere in the conservative Christian world. Wow, I think it's so wild that someone is like, what is she in charge of again? Hold on. What is it? She's the president of Proclaiming Justice, and it was a special envoy to the nations for the World Council of Independent Churches. So for independent churches, she wants all the churches to act unilaterally and basically excommunicate Candace Owens. Well, you know what they say. There is no love like Christian hate. Woo! Damn. What a cunt. You know what? I wonder. She's got a nonprofit. I wonder. Let's go see real quick. I want to check something. Let's see. Nonprofit. All right. I want to check something just real quick. Just to see if I find anything real quick. Just want to look. Okay. Let's see. Oh. Is this the same group by chance? Let me go see. Let's see. I just want to see how much money she's getting paid to do this. So. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Well, yeah, she's probably definitely getting money to say that. So that shouldn't surprise any of us at all. So, yeah, fuck that bitch. All right. Next article. Conflict of interest. Senators expose Dr. Oz's plan to profit from privatizing Medicare. Well, fuck. That dude's kind of looks, he's getting weird looking. Like, what's with his hairline? His hairline's doing some kind of thing. Like, that's like, who's that guy, Judge Napolitano or whatever his name is? He's doing his hair like that guy. It's fucking weird on him. Dr. Oz, who President-elect Donald Trump has tapped to be the lead of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, may have plans to personally reap millions of dollars from privatizing Medicare, according to a group of senators. Well, that's certainly not good. NBC News reported Tuesday that several Senator Democrats recently published a letter to Dr. Oz asking him to clarify his past position on advocating for Medicare plans to be phased out in favor of Medicare Advantage plans, in which private health insurance companies replace the federal government in administering health insurance to the elderly. Didn't we just see something happen with a private insurance company denying people stuff, and like a whole fiasco has now happened because of that? I'm just saying, like, not sure privatizing it would be the best plan here. If Oz is confirmed to lead the CMMS, he would have vast influence over both health insurance for both low-income Americans and retirees, as well as vast oversight over prescription drug prices. Well, this could go one way or the other pretty badly. Well, one side could be good, but one side could be really bad. In 2020, Forbes op-ed co-authored by the former CEO of health insurance giant Kaiser Permanente, Oz called for employer-provided health insurance to be eliminated and for all Americans to be put on a Medicare Advantage plan for all. Plans funded around 20% payroll tax, evenly split between employers and employees. In their letter, senators pointed out that Dr. Oz would personally profit if Medicare was privatized due to his investment portfolio. Woo! I think everybody's about to get royally fucked. I hope I get my surgery before January. Fuck. I have like a little tear in my abdomen they need to fix. It's nothing too outrageous. Don't worry. But I don't know what's going to happen here. So I hope we get this ball rolling. I get my surgery and recover before this happens. I don't have very long. I'm looking at the date. Like, your advocacy for eliminating the traditional Medicare program and replacing it with Medicare Advantage also raises questions about your own financial conflicts of interest, read the letter signed by 6 senators. In your financial disclosure from the 2022 Senate race, you reported owning $550,000 of stock United Health, a private insurer in Medicaid Advantage and largest employer of physicians in the nation. Dr. Oz needs to step down. He needs to not take this job. This is insane. Yeah, it's like insider trading, but in reverse, kind of. Like he's got the stocks, now he's going to get a job that's going to help those stocks get bigger. Oh boy. Senator Ron Wyden and Elizabeth Warren, Jesus, that woman, I hate her, both sit on the Senate Finance Committee where Dr. Oz will appear for his confirmation hearing next month. They wrote that Dr. Oz owes it to the American people to explain his advocacy for eliminating traditional Medicare and pointing out his deep financial ties to private health insurance. And you know what? Even a broken watch can be right twice a day. So, yes, bitch ass here is correct. I agree with her on this. So, yeah, I think everybody's insurance, or at least, I think everybody's insurance is about to get fucked. So, if you have any medical stuff to do, try to do it before they take office, just in case, If it goes good, then great. If not, then at least get your shit out of the way and done. Indeed, private insurers that run a Medicaid Advantage program drastically overcharge for care, they added. Senators reminded Dr. Oz that United Health is currently under a strongly antitrust investigation by the Department of Justice. I did not know that. Including for its role in aggressively upcoding Medicaid Advantage enrollees to secure higher payments from CMS, and has been sued on multiple occasions for Medicaid fraud. And they further noted that United Health's revenue from Medicare Advantage would roughly double to $274 billion annually if his plan to privatize Medicare comes to fruition. Holy shit. They're playing right in our faces. They are. I'm going to save that for later. I'm gonna make a TikTok about that. Oh, fucking boy. Here we go. Just in time for that shit to happen to us. Again, we're going to get some of this, apparently. Deadly virus samples went missing from lab in major biosecurity breach. Because of fucking course it did. Jesus Christ. Hundreds of deadly virus samples are missing from a laboratory in Australia, and Queensland government announced on Monday. Hundreds. Just to highlight that for a bit, hundreds of deadly virus samples are missing. Like 1 or 2 wasn't enough. Someone took hundreds. How the hell did they sneak out with hundreds? You know what? Let's just read it. The government has instructed Queensland Health, Australia's public health department, to launch an investigation into what's being described as a major historical breach of biosecurity protocols, according to the online media statement. It was reported that 323 vials of multiple infectious viruses, including the Hendra virus, I don't know how to pronounce Lysa virus, and the hantavirus. Oh, that one I recognize. I recognize that fucker right there. That is a hemorrhagic fever that is similar to Ebola, I do believe. I think it's similar to Ebola and Mossberg, is what I think that is. That one I recognize. These two I don't, but that one's fucking enough right there. Went missing from Queensland Public Health Virology Lab in August of 2023. And they're just now publishing this. Fucking hate this planet sometimes. Swear to God. So apparently this went missing in August of 2023, and we're only now hearing about it. Lovely. That's so just interesting. Hendra is a zoonotic, a animal-to-human virus that has only been found in Australia. The hantavirus is a family of viruses that can lead to serious serious illness and death. I guess they didn't want to tell you it's a hemorrhagic because that sounds so much scarier. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, while the Lysa virus is a group of viruses that can cause rabies. Oh, that's what that virus is. Fuck. So basically, rabies and something similar to Ebola is out there somewhere. And we're only now hearing about it. When did this get fucking published? Hold up. Let me go look at this. 2 hours ago. Well, let me refresh it because it was probably a little more than 2 hours ago. 6 hours ago. This happened August of 2023. And we're only now hearing about it. Fuck you, Australia. For real. Fuck you. God bless it all. Next article. Documents showing Biden administration called on banks to pause all crypto activity confirms debanking suspicions. Dun, dun, dun. Of course, this, something like this might happen since my Pepe coin is perking up a little bit. Leaders in the cryptocurrency space are up in arms over documents that were recently uncovered showing Biden administration instructed banks not to engage in cryptocurrency business. I feel like that shouldn't be the government's business per se. A bank should be able to decide if they want to do that or not. The uncovered documents allegedly confirm suspicions that cryptocurrency tech founders were being debanked under a program known colloquially as Operation Choke Point 2.0. Lovely. Chris Lane, the former chief technical officer of Silvergate Bank, accused federal regulators of contributing to the bank's collapse after the documents were released on Friday. Yeah, I guess he didn't like the cryptocurrency idea. I figured at some point, since they voiced such a dislike of people having an alternative to currency, that they were going to do something. I guess I should have seen this coming, but, whatever. Okay. Silvergate became what was serving cryptocurrency clients. Became what it was serving cryptocurrency clients. Sorry. Lane wrote on social media, crypto was a strategic vertical that we started focusing on in 2013. Regulators came in sometime in the spring of 2023 and severely limited the amount of US dollar deposits that we could hold for a digital asset clients. There went our entire business model. So great. The US government just destroyed somebody's shit. And they're going to keep doing this. So fucking lovely. I hate our government so fucking much. Fuck you, Biden. A documentary made from the leaked police interviews with Netanyahu. I know I jumped back to that again, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Anyway, so in a fly-on-the-wall documentary, The Bibi Files, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, universally known as Bibi, is seen undergoing hours of questioning by Israeli police over the corruption allegations for which he is now on trial. Maybe he's salty and bitter that Israeli police have interrogated him and treated him like a criminal he actually is. And maybe that's why he is so acting so crazy. Not only is he trying to protect himself, but he maybe low-key doesn't really care what happens to Israel. Who knows? The footage of his interrogation is interspersed with police interviews and with wealthy associates, including Hollywood producer Ardon Melchin and the widow of casino magnate Sheldon Adelson. Yes, look up that name, Adelson. Yeah, who complained of the prime minister and his wife demanding expensive gifts. By the way, the widow of Sheldon Adelson has been a huge supporter of Donald Trump, just so you know. She pays for a lot of the stuff that goes on. Anyway, let's see, what's this called again? The BB Files. So I don't know where this is being played at, but if you guys are feeling feisty and decide you got nothing else to do, you could always try to find it and watch the documentary for yourself. I have not yet done it, but I would be interested in doing so. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go into my little pirate website and see if that's available. And if y'all are interested and I can find it, I'll even try showing it some night on the Cosme thing. Anyway, beyond his voyeuristic appeal, the film makes the case that Netanyahu's actions, from his allegiance with the far-right fringe of Israeli politics, who are intent on upending the country's judicial system, to prolonging the ongoing war in Gaza, can all be tied to his efforts to evade charges against him, which is something I have been saying for a while. The engine is the corruption cases. Raviv Drucker, an Israeli investigative journalist, says at the start of the BB Files, which he co-produced, it has all started with the fact that the prime minister does not respect the law. After the catastrophic 7th of October, the war became another instrument to stay in power. Yep, that I agree with that. And I would be so interested in seeing this, and I think I will. So, anyway, I think that is about it. Once I have something else to show you. Do I have anything over here? Oh yeah, this is from 2 days ago. The U.S. military strikes ISIS targets in Syria, hitting 75 targets, which is wild because some of them they were using to take Syria. So now some of them have done, served their purpose. The U.S. is wiping them out. That's crazy, isn't it? I think it's pretty nuts. Anyway, let's see. Oh. Right. Yep. That's ground zero for what they'd like to do here. Netanyahu, his days are numbered. He's trying to push through as much of his agenda as he can. Oh, yeah. He is I'm not sure how to describe it. Basically, if someone thinks they're being dragged away or going to, they're willing to set fire to everything around them in the process. If he goes down, he's going to take everything with it. Like, that's the kind of person he is. So, anywho, well, at least this time I didn't take an hour or so to, hour and a half to get through it all. So, anywho, it has been awesome hanging out with y'all. Thanks for listening to me complain about stuff. Yeah, I will hopefully have some cool movie to show y'all, but so far I still don't. I have been looking. There is one movie that was kind of cool. When did it come out? It actually came out this year. I don't know if it'd be something y'all be into or not. But I'll check it out and see if it's good. If it's good, I will let y'all know that it's a cool movie and see if y'all would be interested in seeing it at some point. Oh, yes, and tonight at 9 o'clock, Raquel is going to be showing National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation 2, which I didn't know there was a sequel. And I have a feeling it's probably not going to be as good as the original, but it could be fun. So if y'all want to check out little Raquel Kitty's thing tonight, let me go find Let me go see if I can find that real quick. Oops. It's not too late. All right. Share. All right. Oh yeah, there's Samson option. Yeah. If y'all have ever heard about the that nuclear concept that Russia has, the mutually assured destruction, where if they go down, they're taking everybody. That's Samson option for Israel. Well, I'm at 9 p.m. Central. 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. Sorry about that. But anyway, but there is the link all the same. So if y'all do want to check out National Lampoon's Part 2, it'll be there. I don't think I've ever seen it. And I think the only person in there that's from the original is Cousin Eddie. So it's probably not going to be great, but it could be fun. And it'll still be a place for everybody to kind of hang out and be silly. So either way, but lots of hugs and loves to everybody. Yeah, that I still can't get over that. That is some scary fucking shit. Jesus. Anyway, I love y'all. Y'all are awesome. And I shall see y'all in a little while.
Welcome to the ship show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, hey, what the fuck? And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous